Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out today for what is clearly a very special occasion here at City Hall, the recognition of a public servant and those who serve our community. Life has taught me a number of things. Since, as you know, right now, we've got healthcare workers striking and automotive workers striking concerning work environments. I've come to learn that city or municipal employees are perhaps the most overworked and undervalued individuals in today's workforce. Many of them feel that they do a thankless job, which does not bode well for morale as well for job productivity. And among those who feel thankless at times are the men and women of law enforcement. While their biggest distinction from the rest of the city workers are their uniform, their gun, and their badge, they share the same desires and values as all of us do. They love where they live, they want to live peaceably, they want to do their jobs, and at the end of the day, go home to be with their family. Because of their line of work, however, their day doesn't end like most of ours. According to the Officers Down Memorial website. If you've ever visited, please take a look at it. So far this year, 95 officers have died in the line of duty. Last year, the number was 248, and over the last 5 years, that number was 1,858 law enforcement officers who died in the line of duty. March of this year, Jacksonville Sheriff's Officer Malik Daricaud was shot and critically wounded. Thankfully, Malik survived. Now he is on a very difficult path to a full recovery. But given his faith and the spirit of determination, I'm certain he will get where he wants to go. I will let Sheriff T.K. Waters talk a little bit more about Officer Malik. But a few weeks ago, the sheriff shared the story of what transpired on that Sunday morning, and he recognized not only Malik, but the two fellow officers for their bravery on the fire. They went and removed Malik's wounded body on the fire so their fallen comrade can get the much-needed medical attention. And I guarantee you that move helped save his life. These officers did their jobs, not looking for medals, not looking for recognition, just serving the public and trying to get home. Even so, to show them how much they are appreciated, the City Council, under the leadership of Ron Salem and Vice President Randy White, and all of my other colleagues, have decided to adopt a resolution to show these men and women how much we support them. Today, we want to present that resolution to simply say thank you for what you do. But before we do, I'd like to turn it over to Sheriff T.K. Waters for remarks and to introduce our officers. Sheriff.
So thank you, Councilman Amero, Councilman Salem, President, Council Salem President, Vice President, City Council members, and all of you. Earlier this year, Officer Malik Daricaud was near fatally shot while on duty. If it were not for the actions of his fellow officers, Officer Daricaud may not have survived. His road to recovery has been arduous and continuous to this day. Officer Daricaud has endured months of intense rehabilitation, and we are thrilled that he is here today to witness this ceremony. Thank you for being here, Malik. I want to recognize Officer Daricaud for his courage, perseverance, and grace. Malik, you're truly an inspiration to us all. Your JSO family continues to send you love and support, and I hope you know how deeply proud we are to count you as our brother. On March 26, 2023, Officer Malik Daricaud and 3 other officers were at a residence in the 6800 block of Ridgeview Avenue conducting a follow-up investigation pertaining to a felony. After announcing themselves, they attempted to get the suspect to answer the door. When that proved unsuccessful, the suspect's mother came to the residence to encourage her son to cooperate with police. After the suspect's mother unlocked and opened the front door, the suspect immediately fired multiple rifle rounds at the officer standing outside the door. Officer Daricaud was instantly hit and fell to the ground. Due to the severity of his injury, Officer Daricaud was incapacitated and unable to move from where he fell. The other officers sought cover after the initial gunfire. The suspect then fired additional shots from inside the house. The officers on scene called for additional assisting units and assumed tactical positions to contain the suspect and cover Officer Daricaud. After receiving word that Officer Daricaud had been shot, Sergeant Ahmetovic, Officer Redmond, and Officer Cotton immediately responded to the scene. Upon arrival, the sergeant quickly and efficiently assessed the situation and directed officers to various assignments. He ascertained that Officer Daricaud required transport to a safe location for medical treatment. The sergeant ordered that a police car be moved into position as an emergency transport and directed the initial officers to cover the windows and front door of the suspect's house. And even though he could not determine where the suspect was inside the home, the sergeant directed Officer Redmond and Officer Cotton to help him move Officer Daricaud to safety. At extreme personal risk to themselves and without hesitation, Sergeant Ahmetovic, Officer Redmond, and Officer Cotton removed Officer Daricaud in the safest manner possible. He was in front of the suspect's house at the time, and when I tell you that this was not a safe maneuver, but an actual need to save an officer's life, that's exactly what it was. Officer Daricaud was then transported to a nearby staged JFRD rescue unit, which transported him to a hospital in extremely critical condition. The actions of these officers demonstrated great personal courage in the face of extreme danger. They did not hesitate to risk their own safety to rescue a grievously injured, incapacitated fellow officer. Unfortunately, Sergeant Ahmetovic was not able to be here today for this ceremony, but Officers Redmond and Cotton are present. Nonetheless, they are to be commended for their heroic actions, courage, and valor, and love for their brother officer. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. At this point, I'd like my ECA, Joe, to come and read the resolution, and when he is finished, we'll have some remarks from City Council President Ron Salem as well as Vice President Randy White.
Good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining us for this occasion. Resolution 2023-523, a resolution commending Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Sergeant Ahmetovic and Officers Kerry, Redmond, and Justin Cotton for their bravery in the line of duty in providing aid to fellow officer Malik Daricaud, providing an effective date. Whereas law enforcement officers put themselves in harm's way every day in an effort to maintain public safety, Jacksonville Sheriff's officers work together as a tightly knit team, supporting each other and cooperating to ensure the safety of their unit. And whereas when JSO officer Malik Daricaud was assisting fellow officers with a follow-up investigation for a traffic incident in March 2023, he was shot and seriously injured by a suspect. Due to the severity of his injury, Officer Daricaud was incapacitated and unable to move from where he fell. And whereas JSO Sergeant Ahmetovic and Officers Redmond and Officer Cotton immediately responded to the scene and provided assistance at extreme personal risk to themselves and without hesitation. They provided cover so Officer Daricaud could be moved to safety and receive medical treatment, and the incident was resolved without injury to any other officers or bystanders. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Jacksonville, the City of Jacksonville hereby commends JSO Sergeant Ahmetovic, Officer Redmond, and Officer Cotton for their courage in the face of danger and bravery in the line of duty. Jacksonville City Council extends its appreciation for their heroism in rescuing an injured fellow officer. City Council also wishes for the best possible outcome for Officer Daricaud and is grateful to his wife, Jasmine, and their son, Malachi, for giving him strength on his path to recovery.
Good afternoon. Let me first thank my fellow colleagues for being here today. This is Council Day. It's a long day for us, but it's heartwarming to have so many of them that are here when we know we'll be here till probably 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here today. As president of the Jacksonville City Council, I believe it is important to honor life-saving actions. The actions taken by members of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office are more than words and their insignia. The oath to protect and serve requires that at any moment they put themselves in harm's way, as is in the case on why we are here today. Their dedication and bravery in protecting our community is not taken lightly, and acknowledging their positive contributions is just one way we can honor them and the critical role law enforcement plays in ensuring our community is safe. On behalf of the Jacksonville City Council, thank you for your heroic actions.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to echo what has been said and want to thank the sheriff for his leadership with his whole team and these heroes, all three of them. I wake up every morning and say a prayer first for my family, then JFRD, JSO, and if the ones that's not doing that, we should. Just want to thank you, full recovery for you, and thank you, gentlemen. Are you the guys that's driving the two new cars? Those cars look good. We will be buying you some more.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like Joe to do a formal presentation of the resolution to the officers, but basically that concludes our program. We wanted to take this moment to acknowledge the men and women in blue for the service they give us. Again, something that is often taken for granted. There are issues, but we cannot overlook the fact that they serve, and their mission is to keep us safe. And therefore, I thank you all for coming out today. I thank them for what they've done. Just continue to do what you do. Keep your oath, serve this community. God will bless you for your doings. Thank you all for coming. Any questions for the sheriff right after, you can ask him.